I was born in 1958 at 160 Lincoln Place, downtown Brooklyn, and it was a very peaceful place. It was a beautiful place. It was the 50s. There was no crime. People didn't lock their doors, and it was known as Park Slope, New York. Beautiful, high-end place.
In 1956 in Brooklyn, in the Flatland section of Brooklyn.
My mother came from Park Slope, actually. She lived downtown. She lived on Park Place. My father came from further down in Brooklyn. What's called today is actually the Barclays Center. And it was Atlantic Avenue. It was Coldwater Flats. And he was born during the Depression. And well, he was actually lived through the whole Depression. He was born in 1926. And very humble beginnings. Very hard-working man. Went into the Navy at 17 to better himself. And World War II veteran. Buried in Calverton, New York. My mother came from a little better background, Park Slope. And 2 sisters. And a very close-knit family. Her grandparents on one side were from Ireland, and on the other side from Denmark. So it was quite a mix.
I was one of 7. My parents were, my mother was from Brooklyn. Her parents came over here from Italy. My father is from a small town in western Pennsylvania, southwestern Pennsylvania, a coal mining town. And he was from a large family down there, one of 14. And his parents came over from Czechoslovakia.
Family activities, we'd get snowed in and we'd have fun. Later in, along the way, we'd play Monopoly, we'd play Clue just like everybody else. We'd play cards, we'd play family games. We actually put on shows as kids.
Mostly I just remember everybody, all my relatives, most of my relatives, they would come over for every occasion, for birthdays and all the holidays, and everybody would just get together and always have a good time, and big family Sunday dinners.
School in the Catholic school system was very strict. It was a lot required. There was a lot of pride instilled in you. There were no ifs, ands, or buts. What you were required to do, you were expected to do, and if you didn't, there were consequences.
School was great. Had a good schooling in a Catholic school. Very strict, very disciplined, but it was a good education.
Well, growing up, being born in 1958, coming into the 60s as a kid, I was lucky enough to have the Janis Joplins and the Doors and the Beatles and the Stones, and you could just go on and on and on. The music, just couldn't have been any better. Plus the stuff that we inherited from our parents, the Benny Goodmans of the world and the Tommy Dorseys, they had some great tunes.
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, don't mean nothing, honey, if it ain't free.
And they sing the song called Break On Through, They Are the Doors, everybody.
They're unique, they're extraordinary, certainly. They're probably the world's leading rock group. Will you welcome the Rolling Stones?
you know, I grew up with the Vietnam War. And my cousin was in Vietnam for a year. We didn't hear from him. That certainly affected the family.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Say the joker to the thief.
Two of my classmates' brothers died in Vietnam. I was at their funeral masses in the 8th grade. So there's no way you could keep Vietnam out of the equation. And, you know, you had good moments too. You had the Man on the Moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Tremendously different. The World War II generation people who lived through the Depression, who had great patriotic feelings towards this country, has disappeared, and for good. So the new leadership is it couldn't shine the shoes of the World War II people who experienced almost being taken over by Germany. I mean, we were real close. We could have been speaking German. To just moral values that are gone for good.
Everybody was out playing. Everybody was out all day. You were out with your friends. You were out in the streets playing, doing whatever. You didn't have phones to call each other up on. You went to people's houses to call for them, hang out on their stoops and just hang around and talk, not with computers and cell phones and all the other things that kids just stay in video games, and you were out all the time.
Well, of course, I would hope that they're healthy, happy, prosperous, in touch with themselves, not egotistical, realize that you're in this world to, not by yourself, to help everybody and anybody you can, and do the right thing. You know, there ain't no right way to do the wrong thing.